All right, what's going on, guys? So today we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 New York Rangers forward prospects. And before we get into the video, I'm just going to let you guys know that some of these guys I have watched quite a bit of, and some of them I haven't watched quite a bit of. You know, guys like Brennan Othmann and Bryce McConnell-Barker. Those two guys specifically, I mean, I've watched a crap ton of Brennan Othmann, considering, you know, he's like kind of like fairly close to where I live. So I do get a lot of those games and stuff like that. So, you know, I've watched a decent amount of those guys, and I've watched them both in real life. So those guys I can give a lot more insight on than the other guys. But most of these guys I know a decent amount about, and I've, you know, followed their seasons relatively well. So let's just get into it here. So the first guy here, and these aren't ranked by any order. It's just kind of the top 10 kind of Rangers forward prospects. Started off here, we have Noah Laba. Now, he was taken in the 2022 draft, obviously this past draft, in the 4th round as an overager. You know, his first like official year to qualify for the draft was like not this past draft, but the 2021 draft. But he didn't get taken. But then the Rangers took him in the 4th round this year, as he played pretty well. I mean, he's a 6'2" centerman. He actually was on the World Junior team for Team USA in this past one, but he didn't really play a whole lot. He was kind of like that 13th forward, you know, that kind of like that last guy. So he didn't play a whole lot, but, I mean, still good to see that he got picked for the team, and obviously that means he's quite decent if he's getting picked for Team USA. But, you know, this past season, so far with Colorado College in the NCAA, obviously, he's got 27 games played, 10 goals, 8 assists, 18 points. So, you know, not bad. He played one World Junior game with Team USA, so nothing crazy there. But in the USHL last season, where he got drafted out of, obviously, he had 50 games played, 15 goals, 24 assists. So obviously he did pretty good there in the USHL, doing decent. But as a centerman, he again like a lot of the other guys here, a lot of the center prospects that we've drafted over the past couple of years, a lot of them have been kind of these like guys who are more primarily known for like their two-way game. So it's always nice to see when guys like that are doing pretty well offensively. I mean, the NCAA is kind of, you know, it's pretty good competition. So to see him do quite well like offensively and defensively is really nice to see. The next guy here is the oldest prospect on this list by far, and that is Bobby Trevino. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys know him. He was like that top, kind of one of the top guys, the undrafted free agent guys from college. And obviously the Rangers signed him last year. And, you know, he played a bit with Hartford, obviously, last season. And so far, obviously, this season he continued on. He hasn't gotten the chance in the NHL yet, but hopefully, you know, maybe at some point he does. But seems like it probably won't be this year, but definitely potentially next year. So this season with Hartford in the AHL, he has 42 games played, 7 goals, 12 assists, 19 points. He's a +6. So pretty good, honestly. And then last season with UMass, you know, University of Massachusetts, was a captain, and he also had 37 games played with 20 goals, 29 assists, 49 points, was a +22. You know, he was absolutely amazing. With UMass there, absolutely dominating the competition, and then came over at the end of the year and had 11 games played with Hartford, and that's where he scored 1 goal, 2 assists, so, you know, had a decent start to his pro career there. And yeah, I mean, he's already 24, like I said. He's a small winger. He's really small. So I don't know how he'll do at the NHL level, if he'll ever make it, but he's definitely an interesting prospect, and obviously, you know, maybe not this year, but next year he could, you know, maybe crack the lineup as kind of like a, you know, a third line maybe kind of guy. If I don't know, we'll see. I mean, who knows what will happen, but he's definitely an interesting prospect to keep an eye on. Adam Sikora is one of my favorite prospects on the New York Rangers. We took him in the 2nd round of this year's draft. Obviously, he was our first pick of the draft. We didn't have our first rounder because we moved that to obviously Andrew Kopp. But, you know, Adam Sikora is a really interesting prospect, and he was projected to go around the 2nd round, a bit higher than when he got taken. But, you know, he's a left wing kind of center, mostly a left winger. He's 18 years old. So he's still really young. Doesn't turn 19 until September, so like super young. He is a really talented prospect. Obviously, is playing most of his stuff over with. He's playing with HK Nitra in the top Slovakia league. He went back over there with his development, and there was rumors that he might get traded in the WHL. His rights might get traded. I forget which team it was, but he might get traded to a team, and then he would have obviously, you know, went and played for those teams in the WHL. But I think him and the Rangers both figured that him staying in Slovakia, playing in the top pro league over there, and letting him continue to play, you know, against grown men would be the best for his development. And it seemed like it's done great for him because he has 32 games played this season in the top Slovakia league, 7 goals, 12 assists, 19 points. He only had -1. He played pretty well. He's played really well, really well over there. I mean, for an 18-year-old, he's doing really good. If you take a look at some of like the stats comparing him to other guys, he's doing really well for his age at 18 years old. So keep an eye on him. He is his game isn't even offense. That's not his main thing. His main thing is being really good two-way player that is just smart, gritty, He's not afraid to fillet the body. He's not afraid to grind in the corners. He's just a great hockey player. And, he's a good two-way player, and he's showing a lot more offensive potential than I think we kind of expected this soon. I mean, last season he had 46 games played, 17 points in the top Slovak league, but this year he's obviously doing quite a bit better in 14 less games, has 2 more points than he did last year. So he is quite a bit, taking a huge step forward, and hopefully we continue to see that. But in the World Juniors with Slovakia, he only had 1 goal in 5 games, but man, was he ever good. I'm not even kidding. You may look at the points here and say, man, he sucked, but I'm telling you, he played really, really good, even though he only had 1 goal. The offense wasn't amazing, obviously, but he created some good chances. He had some good chances himself, just couldn't find the back of the net. But he did really, really well in his two-way game. He made some good hits, played a really good, smart game, and I thought he played really, really well, despite only having 1 goal in the World Juniors. So, yeah, I'm really, really happy to see how his development has kind of progressed over this past season. Brett Berard here is another winger. He's really good. He's only 20. 5'9", so smaller guy. He's kind of like that Brad Marchand type where he's just an absolute pest out there. He's going to get in your head. He's going to piss you off. He's going to try and draw some penalties or something like that. He's a gritty guy. He'll lay the body even though he's 5'9". He's just kind of that type of Brad Marchand guy. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to put up 100 points, like a Brad Marchand kind of player like that, but he can be maybe that kind of middle 6, third line kind of guy, fourth line guy at worst maybe. Just playing a good, responsible, relatively good two-way game, but just bring some good offense, drive the net hard, just be a smart player. He's a really good all-around player, and he's definitely kind of that Brad Marchand type. He was taken in the 2020 draft in the 5th round, and he's had a good year with Providence College with 31 games played, 22 points. So his points have kind of fallen off from last year, so we'll see what happens with his development, but I think he'll probably end up playing a bit with Hartford potentially, this year maybe, and I don't know, we'll see how it happens, but this year he's not doing great. Like I said, 22 points in 31 games compared to 38 points in 36 games last season with Providence, so his numbers have kind of dropped off a bit, but he's still a good prospect, and hopefully he can get back to his old form. The next guy here we have is Will Cooley. Now, he was actually used with the pick that we got for Elias Anderson, with that 60th overall pick back in 2020, that second rounder. That became Will Cooley, and obviously Will is a fantastic player. This season he has 43 games played with the Hartford Wolfpack. He has 23 points, 15 goals, 8 assists. He's doing fantastic. He's still only 21, so he's still young. He is just turned 21 actually in February 5th, so he's young 21. He is a really good prospect. I'm excited to see how he does. I mean, he's a big 6'3" body. He uses his size to his advantage, that's for sure. He's got a good shot. He can definitely be a potential 20-goal scorer at the NHL level, maybe even 30 if he really hit his potential, but I could see 15, 20 goals, every single year on that third line kind of thing, playing a good, gritty, big, tough role. I could definitely see that. That is definitely a possibility from Will Cooley. To move on here to the next prospect, Brennan Othmann. He's our top prospect right now, obviously, playing for the Peterborough Petes. He got traded from Flint just this past season, back in November, I believe. And obviously, he's doing great. He's doing really, really good. He hasn't quite taken that big step with the Petes since he got traded from Flint, but he's obviously played well. I mean, the Petes are a really good team, and he really got off to a slow start with the Petes. But as of late, he started to turn it around a bit, and I've gone to a couple of games. I've seen 3 games this season of Othmann playing with the Petes, and I mean, he's played great. He's played good. His two-way game, I think, has gotten a lot better. I think his game off the puck has gotten much, much better. Just from what I've been watching and stuff like that, he with his Flint, he was kind of more of an offensive guy, and I saw once I really moved to the Petes, and I saw that his two-way game really got better. His all-around game got a whole lot better, and I thought he's much more of a complete player now. And the offense isn't as good as what it was with the Flint. So he had 16 games played with Flint, 24 points, 11 goals, 13 assists. With the Petes, he has 25 games played, 25 points, 11 goals, 14 assists. So the numbers haven't been great offensively. He's at a point per game, which for him isn't good, but I mean, it's still really good, obviously, and he's over a point per game this season with in the OHL total combined, but he hasn't fully taken that big step yet with the Petes, but he's still an amazing prospect, and don't think he's a bad prospect now because he only has a point per game. He is still a fantastic prospect. Next guy here we have is Maxim Barbashev. Now, he is a very good prospect. He's only 19 years old. He was taken in the 5th round in this past draft. He's 6'1". He has a brother in the NHL, actually, Ivan Barbashev. I'm sure you guys have heard of him. He won a cup with the Blues. He's kind of like that third, fourth line kind of guy, like his brother is. That he plays a lot like his brother as well. He's like that third, fourth line kind of guy. Middle 6 maybe sometimes, but he plays a really gritty game. Really strong, pesky kind of guy. Big hits. Not afraid to lay the body at all. He'll grind in the corners, so win those puck battles. He plays a good game, but he also get in your head. Kind of like that Brad Marchand type guy, like I've been saying with a couple of these guys. He plays a really good, gritty game, and he's definitely a guy who he's not going to be a star in the NHL. He's not going to be a star, that's for sure. But I think if he makes it to the NHL, he could be a great bottom six winger that just plays a great game. And really, he's that kind of guy that you're going to want in the playoffs, that gritty guy to win the puck battles, play strong, play hard, and do all the right stuff, do everything right. And he's that kind of guy. So this season with the QMJHL with the Moncton Wildcats, he has 51 games played, 25 goals, 24 assists, 49 points. He's a +4, and he's had a really, really good year. Last season he only had 59 games played, 42 points, so obviously he's gotten a lot better than last season, and he's definitely taken a lot of steps up. And for a fifth-round pick, I'm pretty excited to see how he can do, going forward, obviously. The next guy here we have is Ryder Korzak. Now, he was taken in the third round a few years ago, and he's a really interesting prospect as well. He's a small forward, he's like a centerman. He's only 5'11", but he is like a dynamic offensive player. He's not a great, amazing two-way game by any means, but he's a really smart, great passer, got a really good shot. He's really smart, offensive, talented player. Definitely more of like an offensive guy, not as great defensively, but he's got good speed, good agility. He's just really good all-around offensive player, really talented, great vision. And this season in the WHL with the Moose Jaw Warriors, he has 36 games played, 21 goals, 30 assists for 51 points in 36 games. Absolutely fantastic. He's also a +14, which is amazing. Last season in the playoffs did good, 13 points in 10 games. Like he's been good in the playoffs. This season he had 5 games played with Hartford at the start of the season, but obviously got sent down to the Moose Jaw where he should be. He's not quite ready for the pro yet, I don't think, but he's absolutely torn it up this year, and it's great to see how he's done because he's been, for a third-round pick, he's definitely doing quite well. And to move on here to the second last guy we have is Jaden Gruby, or Grubb, whatever you want to say. I think it's Grubb. But he is a fantastic two-way centerman, and his offensive game has taken a whole nother step this season. He's 20 years old, born in Calgary. He's 6'3", big center, big center. He's great on faceoffs. He has a really, really good two-way game, good faceoffs, like I said. He is, 6'3" body. Obviously, he's huge. 6'3" center, 303 pounds. He's a former third-round pick as well, 2021 draft. But he has taken his offense game to a whole nother level this year. Last season he had 68 games played, 35 points. Not great, right? But then you move on to this year where he's got 51 games played, 57 points, and he's +11. He's been a captain for 3 years in a row now, the Red Deer Rebels in the WHL. He is a fantastic centerman, great two-way guy. He has taken his game to a whole nother level this season. Now, yes, he is 20 years old, so his number, he's older. Like he's definitely getting older. For the CHL league, the WHL. So his numbers are a bit higher than what they really are actually. But he is still a great player, and I'm excited to see how we can do because he's taken a whole nother step this year with his offense, and his offensive game has just gotten so much better. To move on to the last guy here we have is Bryce McConnell Barker. Now this is another guy who I've seen live in real life. I've seen him and Othmann play each other actually, and in that game, I saw some things that I liked and some things that he's not quite ready yet, right? Like, I would not say he's ready for the AHL yet. I think he's definitely need another year or two at least. But he's a 6'2" centerman. He definitely needs to bulk up a bit, get a bit stronger. I think he seemed a bit skinny out there, a bit weak, but he's still a really good player. I just think if he gets a bit stronger on the puck, he can definitely be a bit better. But his two-way game is fantastic. He is a really, really good two-way centerman. He was taken in the third round, 2022, this past draft, 97th overall. But he's really, really good. He's a great two-way guy, like I said. But his offense has taken a whole nother level this season. Just like Gruby, just like a lot of other guys. This season, he has 54 games played as a captain as well, the Sioux Greyhounds in the OHL. He has 54 games played, 64 points, right? 27 goals, 37 assists. He's been absolutely amazing this year. The Sioux Greyhounds are not an elite team by any means, but he's taken this team. He's really doing good. He's doing good. He's taking another step himself. Last season, he had 68 games played, 49 points. So, obviously, the offense has jumped up a crap ton this year. It's gone up 15 points from last season in 14 less games played. So, absolutely insane there. He's the captain of the team. He's played amazing, and he's a great two-way player. And his offensive game has taken up to a whole other level. Anyways, guys, that's going to end the video off here. I'm going to do the defense and the goalies next. But thanks for watching, guys. Let me know you guys' thoughts on some of these guys in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching. Peace.